Hello and welcome to the LAPSUS supply chain attack video to accompany the LAPSUS supply chain attack blog that was recently posted at LogRhythm. We will be covering third-party playbooks and detections during this session. We're going to be creating a LogRhythm playbook by using the administration dropdown and then going to Playbooks. This is a default view of all the playbooks that we currently have in the system. Yours will vary. We're going to click on Create Playbook. We're going to give it a name. We're going to be using the name and the description based upon the recent blog we put out regarding the LAPSUS attack. We're also going to give the playbook a tag, and we're going to change the permissions. And then we're going to save the playbook. From here, we're going to find our playbook that we just created. We can do a filter for it. And now we're going to actually add our procedures to it. So the procedures we're going to copy and paste from the Invictus incident response tweet that they put out earlier regarding the LAPSUS attack on Okta and what you should do in this type of incident response engagement. So we're going to copy and paste. And here you can set an arbitrary number of how long you have as an analyst to respond to this particular procedure. You may actually have procedures in place that state on how long an incident can go on for or an investigation can go on for, so definitely use those numbers. Otherwise, I arbitrarily just put in an hour for an example. Here we're doing more copying and pasting. And we'll need to add another, so we'll click on the Add Another and we'll click on Create. And we'll repeat the process for the additional incident response procedures. Now that we're all done, we click on Save and we deselect the Create Another Procedure and we'll save the playbook. Again, we go back to our default view and we can do our filter and look for our newly created playbook. Now we're going to be doing our cases. This is a case dashboard by default. Yours will vary. You can have different kind of layouts. Here we're going to be switching to a different layout view. And now we're going to create a new case so we can work our playbook to the case. We're going to name the case. And we're going to title it here as an example, Threat Hunt Invictus Incident Response. Okta Procedures. Here we can add in a summary and basically just saying that we're going to be doing a threat hunt based upon the Invictus Incident Response Procedures. And then we'll click on Save. Our new case has been created. And we can click on the case to work with it. Here we're going to go ahead and add in our playbook that we just created. Using the dropdown, we can use a filter and we can look for our new Incident Response Invictus Okta playbook. We're going to click on Add. And now we have our playbook added to our case. Now we can start working as an analyst. We can use the drop-down here and see all the procedures we added earlier. And now we can use the first one and start there. There's the steps that we copy and pasted earlier, so the analyst now is able to see exactly what they need to do. We're going to assign it to the analyst, in this case myself. And here it's already past due, but that's okay. You can modify the date if you need to. And we're going to do the steps. So we're going to do a search. We're going to search we're going to set the parameters accordingly, according to the Invictus blog. We're going to do the dropdown, and we're going to select our Okta API. Sorry for the blurring on this particular screenshots. They were used in our production environment. So here we're just using it as an example to be able to go through and show you the quick search filters that you would be able to do to satisfy the first procedure. Here we're changing the time where the Okta incident actually occurred. By going into the advanced search here, we can change on how many logs are actually returned, and also we can do date descending or ascending. Here's the search results. We're going to use the Web UI Analyst Dashboard Okta Analyze. You can find this in our community download section under Web UI. This is one of the node-link graphs that's new in the dashboard. Makes it nice to be able to visualize exactly how systems connect. Here we're going to be looking at the playbook and see that we've accomplished the steps here. By clicking all the logs returned and adding them to the case. Here we'll always do a description based upon what we just did to add to the case. So that way future analysts or even myself as an analyst would know exactly what I did and why. Clicking continue adds it to the case. And we can see that the logs have been added to the case. So now we can scroll down to the procedure. And again, adding notes anywhere you can is very helpful, especially when you return at a later date to look at what happened and how it happened. And now we're done with this procedure step, so we're going to put a check mark there. It's saved. And now we'll go on to the next procedure. Again, assigning the procedure to the analyst. And we're going to perform the procedure task. So we're looking for suspicious activity. Scrolling through the dashboard, and then we're actually looking at the actual log. We're going to review the log and event and actions. This is all the parse metadata. And also we can take a look at the raw log message to see if there's any additional information that's of use that may not be parsed out. So another tip here, we're going to review for suspicious activity, bottom region. And then using the analyzer grid again, selecting the log, and then we're going to add this log to the particular, to our case by doing the drop down again. And we're going to add the description here. And clicking continue will add the log to the case. And like before, we're going to add our procedural notes. And then we're going to select the box to mark it as complete. And continue to the next procedure. Here we're using the dashboard filter, and we're looking for a particular message ID. We're looking for anything that contains a reset. And now we can review the filter logs. And we can further filter by double-clicking on the actual log. And then we're going to review the logs using event and actions. We can see that the user account reset. By copying that, makes it a little bit easier by when we're adding our notes. So we're just going to select all the logs that where the user account was reset. We're going to add it to the case. And we pasted in what we copied earlier. We hit continue, and it saved the logs to the case. That's our evidence that accounts have been reset. We're going to put a note here. And we're going to mark it as complete. Again, going to the next procedure. This step may be applicable to you, and if not, you can click on skip. We can go on to the next procedure. This is outside of the SIEM perspective, and so contacting someone within IT or that has administrative access to Okta can verify this step. And we've verified this step as an example, and now we clicked on complete. And don't forget to do the assignee of who this procedure is assigned to. And then go on to the last procedure. Here we're using the filter dashboard. We're looking for vendor message ID, where it contains create. Here we can see all the logs. We're selecting all the logs. And we're going to add the logs to the case. Clicking continue adds the logs to the case. You see them added. And so now we can add in our note. And mark it as complete. All right, all of our procedures are done now. So now we can complete the case. We can do that by going into the cases, and we can click on completed. And here we need to add in our notes. In this example, no incident was found, completed playbook procedures, and completed the case. Now we're going to get into creating AI rules to detect with. We can create a new AI rule. We can expand to the behavioral select trend rule block. And we can double click to add it to our working space. Here we're going to do primary criteria first. And we're going to select the log source type. Here we're going to be adding in all the octa-lock source types. And then we're going to go into the include filter. And we're going to select vendor message ID. Now we're going to do some copy and pasting from Azure Sentinel. Azure Sentinel has some good detection capabilities written up, and we're just going to use those same ones within our SIEM. We're going to do group by, so when the event fires, we'll know exactly what's happening with the event. We're going to do some region origin. We're going to do user origin. And we're going to also display the vendor message ID. We're going to click on the data field, and we're doing log count. We're going to click on information so we can go to the OK. And now it's going to ask us if we want to initialize a trend monitor, which we do. We're going to go back in, and we're going to set the time and schedule. And here we're going to be looking for 1 day over the past 30 days. Then we're going to go into our expression. We're going to add our expression. We're going to do a log count threshold. And we're looking at our live log count. It's greater than or equal to 1. We're going to go ahead and add in more logic. And we're going to say our baseline log count is equal to 0. Now 1 and 2 must be satisfied in order for this event to occur. We'll go ahead and say OK. We're going to say live data is required. And now our trend rule is complete. And we can see all the criteria that makes up our trend rule here on the right-hand side. Next, we're going to clone this rule so that we can modify just a little bit of the logic for the next rule. It's identically cloned. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stage our working area so we can copy and paste again. We're going to the other Azure Sentinel detection. And here, like before, we're going to copy and paste. And since most of our logic's already built up, now all we need to do is go into our include filters and change out the message ID information. So we'll go ahead and remove the existing information. And we'll copy and paste the new information. We'll go ahead and click OK when that's done. And now we're done modifying our rule. And we can see that the new information is there.